evening. My name is Mendy McLean Stone. I'm a member of the League of Women Voters of Whidbey Island and a member of the Forum Committee. Tonight, I will be the moderator for the Candidates Forum for the offices of Island County Auditor, Island County Clerk, and Island County Assessor. I'm supported by my fellow League members, Joanne Brooms, who as timekeeper, Carol Pulliam as our Zoom platform manager, and Karen Bolstead, who is providing additional technical support. The League of Women Voters is a nonpartisan political organization that encourages informed and active participation in government. The League works to increase understanding of public policy issues and influence public policy through research, education, and advocacy. We endeavor to make democracy work by offering events like this, by registering voters, and much more. You can go to our website at lwvwhidbey.org to learn more or become a member. Snow Isles Library's mission is to provide resources to the community for lifelong learning. Our partnership enables us to pool our resources to provide neutral and unbiased information to the public. Visit the library site at www.snowisle.org to learn more about all of their services. For those of you who may be new to League forums, let me share our procedures and rules for engagement. All candidates have received copies of our League's forum policy and ground rules, as well as recording releases. These documents outline forum structure, expectations for civil discourse, and our commitment to treat all participants with fairness and respect. We appreciate the candidates' willingness to participate in this important voter information event. Before proceeding to tonight's main event, I would like to alert you to some important voting information. Recently, there have been some changes to our postal service. In the past, mail was picked up from each post office twice daily, and that has been changed to once a day, Monday through Saturday, excluding Sundays and holidays. In addition, our mail is now sent to Seattle for processing and must be postmarked and must be postmarked no later than midnight on election day to be tabulated and counted. With these postal changes, it may take several days for your ballot to be processed and postmarked. Therefore, you are encouraged to vote and post your ballot as early as possible, preferably within a few days of receiving your ballot. Also, the most reliable way to ensure that your ballot is received in time is to place your ballot into the ballot drop boxes located throughout the island. This information is included in your mailed ballot. These boxes are managed by qualified, certified election staff members with strict protocols to be sure that your ballots are handled quickly and safely. Finally, if you have not received your ballot within a week of its mailing, please contact the elections office in Cookeville. They can issue you a ballot in person or guide you through voting online through a secure portal. It is the League of Women Voters' primary objective that each and every person who is qualified to vote is able to do so and that their vote will be counted. Be sure to sign your ballot on the outside and return it promptly. The most secure path is the ballot drop boxes. Please feel free to share this information with friends and family members. Finally, primary elections are very important to judicial elections. This year, 5 seats on the Washington State Supreme Court are contested. Both Vote 411, sponsored by the League, and WashingtonSupremeCourt.org, visualizing the Washington Supreme Court, are excellent websites to gain more information about the candidates before you make your choice. On both of these websites, you can read short statements or watch a short video from the candidates. And now, on to the main event. The format for this evening will be a standard question and answer. The questions have been selected in advance by our forum committee, and none of the questions have been disclosed to the candidates before this forum. The moderator will pose all questions. Each candidate will have an opportunity to answer all questions. Each candidate will also have 2 minutes for a closing statement. The order of the candidates in respect to questions has been determined in advance by league organizers to ensure a random and fair sequence. The first responder to a question will have 90 seconds to answer. The remaining candidates will have 60 seconds to answer. The timekeeper will show a red card and say, "Time's up," when their time is over. This forum is being recorded by the league. A link for viewing it will be posted on our website. No other recording is permitted. Any use of the recording requires approval from the League of Women Voters of Whidbey Island, and then with the caveat that it must be broadcast in its entirety. No candidate is allowed to edit or use the footage for campaign purposes. We'll begin with questions for the candidates for Island County Assessor. Please welcome Mr. Doug Stoltz and Mr. Kelly Todd Mock. Okay. Question 1 will go to Mr. Mock, and you will have 90 seconds to answer. So I'm looking for question 1. Hold on just a moment. I'm going to change my view. Oops. So, Carol, I'm having a hard time finding the questions. Sorry for the delay, gentlemen.
No problem.
Okay. On my computer screen, things are bouncing around like crazy, so I'm going to try and change my view.
It's the same for all, I believe.
It's the same for all of us?
Yes, she's been unable to proceed with the
okay. And I do not have those. I was relying on the PowerPoint, so if you give me a minute, I will seek to find those questions in another place.
Mandy, this is Carla, and I have the questions at hand.
Oh, terrific. Would you mind sharing the first question, Carla?
Sure thing. The first question is, what experience has prepared you to serve as county assessor?
That's a great question. I've spent 30 years of my life in public service. I graduated from high school, immediately went into the Navy, and then after getting out of the Navy, coming to Island County in 1993, I spent 22 years at the sheriff's office. 10 of those years were in administrative experience as the undersheriff with the Island County Sheriff's Office. And then after that, I got my real estate broker's license. I was a general contractor, a home inspector, and then I was elected in 2023, and I've served the last 3.5 years as the assessor. And in that time, we've had major progress. We've accomplished a lot in those 3.5 years, and I'm excited to share that with everybody in my closing statement.
Thank you, Mr. Mock. Mr. Doug Stoltz, you will have 60 seconds to respond to the same question.
Oh.
And Carla, since we don't seem to have the question here, would you mind reading it again?
What experience has prepared you to serve as county assessor?
Excellent. First, I'd like to say thank you to the League of Women Voters for hosting this with Snow Owl Libraries. I think this is a great source for everybody. My experience would really be twofold. I've worked in the office for almost 5 years now as a residential appraiser and assisting many other folks, as many as I could, in the job duties that they have. So that experience is very well rounded from the Board of Equalization hearings to ratio studies. My other experience I have is I'm the only candidate on the ballot that has two significant designations from the from the International Association of Assessing Officers, and I'm also one of only three members in all of Washington State to have achieved this dual designation status. I'm currently serving my second year on the IAAO Ethics Committee, and I'm a Department of Revenue accredited appraiser and also the only candidate on the ballot that is a full functioning mass appraiser that is experienced with over 6,500 homes that I've
Time.
assessed. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Stoltz. Question 2 will go to you, Mr. Stoltz, and you will have 90 seconds to answer. So the question is, why are you seeking this position and what are your top priorities?
I'm seeking this position because I realized that my leadership style, I think, is very well suited to bringing this office even further. One of the things that I will have to deal with is a difficult thing, but it will be trying to change the culture in the office by being more responsive and follow through and listening to the folks that we have in the office there. I think by doing this, I can earn their trust and they will understand that as I'm collaborating with them on work, that I am an assessor that will be working with them in the office and not overseeing the position from afar. I think that's a great foundation to start to increase morale and to bring back innovativeness and inquisitiveness to our office, and with the ultimate result being better, more accurate assessments. Thank you.
Thank you. And Mr. Mock, you have 60 seconds to respond to the same question.
Thank you. I'm seeking re-election because I believe that we built an assessor's office that Island County can be proud of. But there's still a lot of work to do. Over the past 4 years, I've focused on making assessments more fair, more accurate. We've modernized our valuation methods. We've significantly reduced appeals, expanded outreach to our seniors and veterans, and we've operated under budget every single year. And this is not just on me. I do have a good team. We do have a great work environment. If I'm fortunate enough to earn another term, my priorities are going to continue to improve our land valuation, our cost data, so our assessments continue to become more and more accurate. Most importantly, I'm going to continue to lead the office the same way I always have, with fairness, professionalism, and integrity. It's a nonpartisan position. Our responsibility is to apply the law consistently, treat every property owner equally, and earn the public trust every single day. And that's what I'll keep doing.
Thank you. Question number 3. This question goes to you, Mr. Mock, and you will have 90 seconds to respond. What improvements would you make to the assessment process?
Great question. So in my first term, we've made dramatic process. And there are really 3 areas that I want to continue focusing on. First, I want to continue to improve our land valuation models by defining neighborhood markets. Second, I want to update our cost table data so assessments reflect today's construction costs, and we're not simply market trending. Third, I want to continue public education, and we've done a great job of that, but we can do more. And I want the people to understand how our office works. It's a complicated system, but the more confidence they have in the process is going to make them more confident in what we're doing and how we're doing it. And again, I want to continue outreach with our seniors, disabled veterans, so that they can get the tax relief that they've earned.
Thank you. Mr. Stoltz, you have 60 seconds to respond to the same question.
Thank you. I think some of the main improvements, there's a multitude of them, but the quality control of our assessments, I believe the work that I've done, I have some significant insight that I can help with that. And there's a new vertical equity index, which really is a significant improvement upon what we've been doing. That's soon to become a standard. I'd love to bring that into the office. I think one of the big things I would do that I think can make a difference for the valuation of our homes would be I'd like to begin a mentorship program for all new hires that are unexperienced and unaccredited. It's too difficult of a task to do land valuation if you don't have the experience. And I think we can create a much more accurate system by vigorously and very detail-oriented having a mentorship program where an accredited appraiser is signing off on each and every single value. I think the other thing that I would like to introduce is I have a very robust idea for a senior and persons with disabilities and veterans
Fine.
program that I would love to institute also. Thank you.
Thank you. And Mr. Mock, whoops, no, where am I? Okay, sorry, we're on to question 4. This is our last question. And Mr. Stoltz, you will have 90 seconds to respond. How would you measure success during your term?
I think that, wow, it's just got to be the people. I think the people inside the office and the people that I meet when I go to their homes. I think part of what I've been doing when working in the field is I'm continually getting great stories by the former assessor, Bernie Upchurch, who is endorsing my candidacy. And I would really like to hear that the constituents that we're serving understand what we're doing and appreciate it, and we connect with them on a personal level. I definitely think that introducing some of the statistical analysis that I've looked at can make our assessments much more accurate. But I think the people aspect would be the most important. I really want to connect with the people and communicate with them and let them know the different programs that are available for them and struggle to explain as best we can what we do and how we do it. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Mock, same question. You have 60 seconds to respond.
Success, I think, should be measured by results, not intentions. In the assessor's office, success means assessments that are fair, accurate, and uniform across the county. And we measure those through our sales ratio studies or statistical testing to ensure that we're meeting and ideally exceeding the Department of Revenue standards. Success also means providing excellent customer service. Are we helping people understand the assessment process? Are seniors and veterans receiving the tax relief that they've earned? Are we responding quickly and treating every taxpayer with respect? Finally, success to me means being good stewards of public resources. Are we using tax dollars wisely? Are we improving our processes, investing in our staff, and delivering better service while being fiscally responsible?
Thank you. We now have an opportunity for each of the candidates to have 2 minutes for closing statements, and we will begin with Mr. Kelly Mock.
Well, thank you. Again, thanks to the League of Women Voters for hosting tonight's forum. And thanks to everybody that's joining and who has taken the time to learn about the candidates. As you decide who should serve as your next Island County assessor, I would simply ask you to look at my record. When I took office, we met only 4 of the 8 Department of Revenue standards established by the DOR. Today, we meet all 8. We've consistently achieved one of the best assessment ratios in the state of Washington while improving uniformity, consistency, and equity across the entire value spectrum. We've reduced assessment appeals significantly, expanded outreach to our seniors and disabled veterans and disabled to receive the property tax relief that they've earned, modernized our evaluation system, increased transparency, and consistently operated under budget. We've returned over $250,000 to the current expense fund since I've been in office. I'm especially honored to have the endorsement of all 3 sitting Island County commissioners, as well as 27 elected county assessors statewide. Those endorsements mean a lot to me because those are the people who know this job and have seen our work. Being your elected assessor is about a lot more than valuing property. It's leading a professional organization, implementing state law fairly, managing public resources responsibly, and ensuring every property owner is treated with fairness, respect, and dignity. I've called Island County my home for more than 30 years, and serving this community has been the honor of my life. I would be grateful for the opportunity to continue serving for another 4 years. I ask for your vote. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mock. And now, Mr. Doug Stoltz, you have 2 minutes for a closing statement.
Well, thank you again to the League of Women Voters for putting this on, along with Snow Owl Libraries. I'd just like to say that I'm extremely happy living here in Island County. I feel like I finally landed, along with all my critters, my ducks and my bees and my sheep and my trout. And I feel really good that I could bring some of my other skills, working with Island County Community Emergency Response Team and my experience as a wilderness first responder to this county. I really feel that what we need to do is to be able to move forward and have good communication in the office and get a lot of the things that we've been working on done. One of the things that I value most is public trust. And I'd like everybody to know that I will be their Island County assessor, and that is the only job that I will have. On my website, I have my 4 pillars that I'm running for, which are qualifications, accountability, ethics, and fairness. I think I would really like if you take a look and see what I have to offer in there. I think you'll find something of interest. My name is Doug Stoltz. I'm running for the Island County Assessor's Office. Again, I'd like to say thank you to everybody out here and everybody who's watching us for this opportunity to tell you a little bit about what we're all about. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Stoltz. And thank you to the candidates for Island County Assessor, Mr. Stoltz and Mr. Mock. We will now proceed with our question and answer session for Island County Auditor. Please welcome the candidates for Island County Auditor: Ms. Andrea Downs, Ms. Sheila Kreider, Ms. Barbara Fuller, and Mr. Terry Lacey. Welcome. The first question will go to Ms. Sheila Kreider. Oh, how are we doing sound-wise? Okay. And you will have 90 seconds. You will have 90 seconds to respond to this question. The question is, what do you see as the most important responsibilities of the auditor's office?
Thank you. The most important responsibility, of course, is honesty, openness, accuracy, and transparency. Every aspect of the work that we achieve in the auditor's office is subject to review by state government as well as other agencies. It's critical that the public can trust us to manage every dollar of taxpayer funds. And I never lose the fact that they are taxpayer dollars. We're accountable for every one of them, just as we are for votes as well. It's critical that those who are dependent upon the county for every aspect of their life are able to know with certainty that they can come into the office, do what they need to do, and be able to trust that the end aspect is what they are desirous of to move on with their life.
Thank you. Ms. Andrea Downs, you have 60 seconds to respond to the same question.
Thank you. I would highlight the most important roles that the auditor has in terms of responsibilities would be first and foremost supporting the election process, overseeing, ensuring that that is done in a fair, transparent, and equitable way. In addition, overseeing the financial stability of the county is critical. As Ms. Kreider had spoken to about the specifics, I think I would like to also highlight that there is a deep need for a presence in that office, and for that presence to provide support for the county staff who are carrying out the day-to-day activities. We are the face of the county, we are the face of that office, and ensuring that the staff feel supported and feel valued and appreciated is really critical in addition to the responsibilities.
Thank you. Mr. Terry Lacy, you have 60 seconds to respond to the same question. What do you see as the most important responsibilities of the auditor's office?
Harry is muted.
Oh, Mr. Lacy, would you unmute your microphone, please?
I haven't started the time.
Okay, thank you, Joanne. Mr. Lacy?
Are you there now?
There you
Oh,
are.
yes,
Okay.
okay.
Sorry.
All right, so take
The-
a deep breath. And your time will begin now.
Okay, thank you. I believe the most important part is to provide the community with the service that they expect in the licensing and the recording department especially. And one of the biggest responsibilities, I agree, is the election process. We had an incident recently that created some real issues, and I think the whole thing could have been handled a little bit different. But at the same time, we need to be transparent with our community members. And one of the things I would like to see is more opportunities to speak to community members and explain how that process starts to finish. And I think they would better understand the election process. It's quite a step.
Thank you, Mr. Lacy. Ms. Barbara Fuller, you have 60 seconds to respond to the same question.
Thank you. So I think the single biggest responsibility is public trust. There's a lot that goes into public trust. So the auditor's office takes care of elections. Elections are under a lot of scrutiny now. There's a lot of challenges to it. All of us, as a voter, I want to make sure that my vote is handled properly, that I can feel confident that I'm counted. And everybody within Island County needs to have that feeling. The auditor's office takes care of accounting. We all care about our money. We want to make sure that it's been handled responsibly. So we should have faith that everything is audited properly, that we understand that every dollar goes where it should and is not being wasted. When we go in to take care of our registration, we want to be treated fairly. We want to make sure it's accessible to us. We want that courtesy and efficiency. Again, that's about making sure that there is a public trust that goes along with it. Same thing with when we go in. Thank you.
Your time is up. Thank you, Ms. Fuller.
Thank you.
Question number 2. This question goes to you, Mr. Lacy. You will have 90 seconds to respond. The question is, what steps would you take to maintain public trust in elections?
The big thing would be transparent and make sure that we're handling the ballots and making sure there's accountability. I believe, as I said before, that the incident previously happened. There were things that could have been done a little bit different, and I think the outcome would have been better. At the same time, I think public education would be great so that people understand, from the time you drop your ballot to the time it gets counted and it's submitted to the state, that you feel comfortable and know without a shadow of a doubt that your vote is counted and it's counted properly. In the accounting section, there are super people that work there, and I think employee recognition would go a long way. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Barbara Fuller, you have 60 seconds to respond to the same question. What steps would you take to maintain public trust in elections?
I think education is vital. You need to provide information to the public in a means that they can understand, whether that means language, translation, various uses of social media, town hall meetings, but clear instructions, clear policies that explain how the elections are going to be managed. So we take the case of issues with the Postal Service, emphasizing, please drop off your ballots in the ballot boxes. These are where the ballot boxes are. This is when ballots need to be turned in, and letting people have the opportunity to see the process. So I went to testing of the voting equipment. As a candidate, I got a personal invitation, although it was open to the public. I will say it gave me a great deal of confidence, which I appreciated as a voter, but putting the information out there to people so they understand it. Knowledge is power. That's it. Thank you.
Time.
Thank you. Ms. Andrea Downs, you have 60 seconds to respond to the same question.
Thank you. I would really start with ensuring that we are moving forward with education to the public, education about how do our election processes work, what steps can we do. I would work with state partners, other auditors from other counties to learn and listen about what they are doing, what trends they're seeing, so that we could be more proactive and forward-facing in Island County versus reactive to some of these situations. Additionally, I think it would go a really long way to ensure that ballots and voters' pamphlets are correct and issued out correctly the first time so that we don't have to respond or correct changes. And I think that just ensuring that there's an openness around communicating with the public, having some fun, looking at some of the other counties, they have social media profiles that are teaching the community about the election process, looking at upcoming initiatives, and really creating more of a dialogue and an engagement.
Time.
Thank you. And Ms. Sheila Kreider, you have 60 seconds to answer the same question. Make sure that you
Muted.
are unmuted.
There we go.
Okay.
Continuing the practice we have used with education, maintaining an open dialogue with the citizens and voters as well as the candidates is maintaining that openness with honest education that people can understand. Many things in the aspects of elections, such as the measures and things like that go on the ballot, have to be developed in a manner that is legalese. So we believe that by reaching out openly and straightforward with everyday communications is exactly what is needed. And we have utilized that for at least the last 15 to 18 years. More importantly, is actively encouraging voters to do anything that can enable their ballot to be counted and processed. No matter how many times we put it in the voter pamphlet and in the inserts, sign your ballot. There's always a number of ballots that cannot be counted because they weren't signed. Thank you.
Thank you. Question number 3, and is what improvements, if any, would you make to voter outreach and voter participation? This question goes to Ms. Andrea Downs first. You have 90 seconds to respond.
Oh, I was hoping I would get this one first. I would love to create partnerships with our 4-H groups. They have the Civics Project that I think is a great opportunity. Additionally, I think building out education models that work for all generations and all accessibility levels. One of the conversations that I look at is how do we get younger people involved in the political process? Well, we're busy at soccer practice and we've got full-time jobs and we've got all these different things. So really listening and learning about how can we reach them and what are the methods and systems that are going to encourage them to engage in the process, but also learn and listen. In addition, I want to work with the elders of our community and see what works best for them. If they're not on Instagram, I don't want communication to be solely regulated to that. I think updating the website would be a great step. I think looking at how can we leverage other systems that other counties use to give more in-time election information would also be great. I think doing more profiles, engaging in more venues like this, doing YouTube videos and putting things out there where we're engaging with the process so that people know what the offices are that are up for election, they know who's running for them, and they also know how they can get involved. Even if they don't want to be a candidate, there are so many different ways to get involved in the election process, and I feel like there's just a lack of conversation around that across the whole.
Thank you. Ms. Barbara Fuller, you have 60 seconds for the same question.
So I think the biggest issue is you need to develop strong community partnerships. So the auditor's office is nonpartisan. So I'm not saying that we go the Republican Party, the Democratic Party, but that we identify as many community organizations, League of Women Voters, for example, create partnerships to put information out there that can then be filtered out more effectively. I love the idea of doing town halls. Challenge with town halls is the people that more likely to show up at town halls are people that are already going to vote, honestly. But they do have their place. It's great for feedback. Social media, I think, is probably the biggest gap. Anybody that knows me for 5 seconds knows I'm not a social media rock star, but I know you can hire great people to actually put in great programs to actually fill that gap. And in 2026, it's not a nice to have, it's a must have.
Time.
Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Terry Lacy, you have 60 seconds.
I agree that the outreach is something that is really needed. You've got a lot of service organizations that a lot of the senior and the disabled folks go to these meetings and things with them. And I think conducting open forum meetings with those folks, explain, what's coming up when they have to have their ballots and answer any questions they have. And I think as far as voter participation, it's the social media. It's getting the word out to people to say, we've got an election coming up, and just trying to get the word out there. We need everybody's vote. Thank you.
Thank you. And Ms. Sheila Kreider, you have 60 seconds to answer this question.
Thank you. The improvements that we have been working on over the last 6 to 7 years have been technology to enhance the speed with which we can respond to the voter and provide them with the necessary items that will allow them to vote and have their ballots processed. The other aspect to voter participation is having them understand the value. And while that's critical, we've had difficulty statewide in having everyone understand that we and they are the defenders of democracy. That is the one aspect of the league itself, that you are there. You are on the front line in defending democracy. And the way we continue to do that is by counting everyone's vote fairly and impartially, and having them tell their neighbor, there's an election going on. Let's do this. One of the values.
Fine.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. And this is the final question. Question number 4. The auditor's office often oversees financial records and public accountability. How would you ensure transparency and accuracy? Ms. Barbara Fuller, you have 90 seconds.
Yeah, so in my background, I've implemented large database systems, honestly, for analyzing information. I've also been a lead auditor for now decades, honestly. And I've learned a long time ago, trust but verify. And as a member of the public, I expect the same thing from my government. And so as the auditor, I believe the same thing. Even in preparation for this, I was looking for the annual fiscal report that needs to be filed with the state of Washington. That is not easily found. And I'm not saying that somebody's hiding that's not where I'm going at all. But having information like that accessible, so the auditor is part of the finance committee. And if you look at the minutes from the finance committee, you'll find pages after pages after pages from the treasurer of all of their data. Great stuff, very meaningful. But where is the other side of it, the work done actually in terms of the accounting activities in the auditor's office? You know, how are we verifying how much money is going out and to who? And I know there are some things that you can't put out to the public every second. So I'm not sure I agree with that. But you do need to make sure that you've got information available to the public so they have confidence that when they are writing their property tax check, as we all do, that it's not wasted, that it's not a bad stereotype. And the other
Fine.
part, okay, thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Terry Lacy, you have 60 seconds to answer the same question.
Financial accountability, the staff that work in the auditor's office does a fantastic job with their computers all day long, verifying numbers, and the auditor doing the same thing. And the accuracy, it's all got to be there. And it's like you said, it's the community's money, and the object is to make sure that every penny that's being spent is part of the budget and that it's being spent wisely. And I believe as the auditor, it should be a real hands-on and right down to the last penny to make sure that everything's accounted for. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Sheila Kreider, you have 60 seconds to answer this question.
Thank you. The financial processes are stipulated by RCW, not only how that must be conducted, but also who and what we report to. Every year we create the financial statement for the state of Island County, and that is provided to the state auditor's office for review. And then we have a physical on-site review that occurs roughly 3 to 4 months out of the year. At that point, they issue a finding of whether we were 100% correct or there were issues that needed to be corrected. I can say with certainty that we have done a fine job in all of that during my 18 years here. And we do that to ensure that the public can trust the work that we do and know that with every line in our audit, we have met the criteria to we're held accountable.
Fine.
Thank you.
Thank you. We will now begin our 2-minute closing statements.
Do I get a chance to respond?
Oh, I'm so sorry. I skipped ahead. My
Thank you.
mistake. Yes, please. You have 60 seconds to respond.
Okay, thank you. So first and foremost, my first step would be I would hire a chief deputy auditor. My second step would be I would listen to the staff and I would see what are the systems that are working, what are the systems that need some improvement, what do they see as challenges around transparency and accuracy. I would do this by doing a deep dive into all of our accounts, understanding our grants, reviewing the audits, which have shown that there have been concerns and inconsistencies over the last couple decades. And I would look at partnering with the treasurer and partnering with the auditor's team to see how do we rectify and how do we support those. I think doing that in a transparent way when appropriate, so working with the finance committee, working with the public when it's appropriate to bring those issues forward and to look at how do we resolve those would be incredible. I think we also need to consider the fact that each individual department does their own individual accounting. And so we need to consider not just the auditor's office, but the entire county as a whole. Thank you.
Thank you. And now we will begin our 2-minute closing statements. And Ms. Sheila Kreider, you may begin, and you have 2 minutes to make a closing statement.
And you're muted.
Oh,
You haven't started your time.
yeah, okay. Unmute your microphone, please.
First, let me thank the League and Snow Isle Library Systems for these events every year. It is so beneficial. The auditor's office has 6 very distinctly different divisions. Each has its own responsibilities. Each is governed by state law and how it must be conducted, reported, and the final analysis of how each is determined to have passed its scrutiny. We have endured that and passed that and exceeded those expectations for the past 18 years that I have served. It would be my honor and I would be grateful to have the opportunity to continue to serve the public with open, transparent government and accountability. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Andrea Downs, you have 2 minutes for a closing statement.
Thank you. At the end of the day, the Island County Auditor's Office is about trust. Residents need to trust that their vote is going to be counted accurately. They need to trust that the public funds are being tracked responsibly. They need to trust that records are maintained correctly, services are accessible, and the office is prepared not just for today, but for the future. That kind of trust doesn't happen by accident. It comes from strong systems, clear communication, ethical leadership, and a willingness to evaluate what is working and what needs to improve. My background has prepared me for this work. I've managed public funding, led complex programs, supervised teams, evaluated systems, and made difficult decisions in public service roles. I understand what it means to be accountable to a community and to lead through change, and to build systems that do not depend on one person, but continue to serve the residents well over time. I'm proud that this campaign has earned the support of leaders and organizations who understand Island County and the importance of this office, including Helen Price Johnson, Representative Clyde Shavers, Commissioner St. Clair, and Megan Dunn, Power, and the 10th Legislative District Democrats. Their support reflects confidence in my experience, my values, and my ability to lead with integrity. The role of auditor requires fairness to every voter, every candidate, and every political party. My commitment is simple. The rules should be applied consistently, the work should be done professionally, and every eligible voter should have confidence in the process. Island County deserves an auditor who is prepared, present, principled, visible, and focused on service. I would bring experience, integrity, and a deep respect for the responsibility of this office, and I would be honored to earn your vote.
Thank you. Ms. Barbara Fuller, your 2-minute closing statement.
Thank you to the League of Women Voters. I appreciate the opportunity to present myself. The auditor's office isn't just about administrative routines. It is the ultimate safeguard of our local democracy, our public funds, and our community's trust. My entire career has been built on accountability and rigorous oversight, from my time in law enforcement to managing complex environmental health and safety compliance. I have proven that I know how to navigate strict regulatory landscapes and deliver results. My service on our Island County Civil Service Commission has further rooted my dedication to fair, efficient, and ethical local government. As your auditor, I will put this experience to work across three non-negotiable pillars. First, elections and civic accessibility, ensuring every eligible voter has a clear, secure path to participate in our democracy. Second, fiscal and operational integrity, providing absolute transparency and rigorous stewardship over your hard-earned tax dollars. Third, operational excellence and modernization, updating our processes to make county services efficient, user-friendly, and resilient for the future. We deserve an auditor's office that actively serves every corner of Whidbey and Camano Islands with accuracy and independence. I have the leadership experience, the professional background, and the clear vision required to step into this role on day one. I would be honored to earn your vote. Thank you.
Thank you. And Mr. Terry Lacy, you have 2 minutes to provide a statement.
Thank you. Thanks for hosting this forum. Appreciate it. I've lived in Island County since 1988. I'm a retired veteran. I've worked for many contractors dealing with budgets and finances. I also worked in the auditor's office for a couple of years, and I know the staff and what they are capable of doing with the correct leadership and guidance. They can be 100% better than what they are today. We can improve. There are training opportunities that could be made available to help our employees to excel. And I believe when it comes to elections, we need to make sure that every person that is eligible to vote gets the opportunity to vote. And I believe that education opportunities exist that we can get that training out there, whether it's through social media, town halls, or whatever. But I think we can do a lot better with the auditor's office in the future time to come. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Lacy. And thank you all the candidates, to all of the candidates for Island County Auditor. Next, we'll proceed with our questions and answers for Island County Clerk. Today there are 4 candidates for Island County Clerk: Tony Adams, Ms. Tony Adams, Miss Deirdre Butler, Amber Sewell, who was expected but has not been able to, is not here this evening, and Maria Hazlow, who announced to us on Tuesday that she would not be participating. So tonight we have Ms. Tony Adams and Ms. Deirdre Butler ready to take on some questions. So the first question will go to you, Ms. Adams. You have 90 seconds for a response.
Thank you
What
for having me.
experience? Oops, go ahead.
Sorry, I was reading the slide and I was just going to answer.
What experience has prepared you to serve as county clerk?
Well, as a Navy veteran who ran many offices, I've learned how to streamline procedures, which may or may not be needed in the current office at the county clerk. I've also have 30 years of legal experience, most of it on the customer side. So I'm the one that takes the items to the clerk for filing to get to the judges to, I'm sorry, I'm not good at this. Just to get the items to prepare our clients for the next hearing or a trial or whatever happens next in their process. So I'm stumbling. I apologize.
Take a
Thank
breath.
you. I'm good. I'm good. Let Miss Deirdre Butler continue.
Okay, Miss Deirdre Butler, you have 60 seconds. You may be
I
muted.
understand that I have 60 seconds, but if after I'm finished, can we give Ms. Adams another chance, please?
I don't have a problem with that if you don't, so
I do
thank
not.
you. Okay, very well.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So, the experience that I have that would help prepare me for the clerk's office is I did work in the clerk's office. I started out as a deputy clerk, which gave me the experience of both in the courtroom and in the clerk's office processing the documents. I then worked my way up to the chief deputy and was had the leadership role in that position. I also went to several clerks conferences. And then after I left the clerk's office, I have been working for the past 5 years in the auditor's office in the accounting department, which has given me a little bit more of understanding of how the county accounting works and has helped me in that part of it. Okay.
Thank you. Ms. Tony Adams, would you like to take another go at this?
Sure. Thank you, Ms. Butler. It's very kind of you. So I'm just really not good at this. My experience is 30 plus years in the legal world, working for large firms and small firms. And the issues are always the same. Sometimes it's a lack of customer service, a lack of resources. And in today's world, technology can help a lot, but it needs to be worked on from the clerk's office. There are some things that can be expanded, and I would really like to do that.
Thank you, Ms. Adams.
You're welcome.
Question number 2. This one goes to you, Ms. Butler, and you will have 90 seconds to respond. What do you see as the most important functions of the clerk's office?
So, first off, I didn't say this earlier, but thank you so much for allowing us to be on here. One of the most important functions of the clerk's office, so you got to look at it in terms of they are the record keepers for the courts, but they're also the wheel of the courts. So it is where all the documents come in, and then those documents are stored, and then those documents go into court. So it is a wheel that continuously works with the people, with the judges, with all court officials, and it's that function. If the clerks is the heart of that, and it needs to function properly for court and to make sure it processes smoothly.
Thank you. Ms. Tony Adams, you have 60 seconds to respond to the same question. Be sure and unmute your mic.
I believe I am. Deirdre is correct. There is an issue with keeping the wheels turning, and it's because sometimes pro se candidates, pro se individuals get stuck in the process, and it's hard to describe when you're not an attorney or a paralegal. They get stuck, and sometimes they feel that they don't have the resources to help them out, and it delays things. So I feel it's important that the clerk's office is able to provide resources to help those wheels continue to roll efficiently. So if there's a way to expand the online library for those for out of county or pro se individuals, they can help themselves and help the process.
Aye.
Thank you. The next question is question number 3. Describe your management style and how you would support staff in a high-pressure work environment. And Ms. Tony Adams, you have 90 seconds to respond to this question.
Well, my management style is to learn all of the jobs that is required of all of my employees so that I can help them in very high stress situations. A good manager will always know everybody's job and will be able to help them or assist them, guide them, and get them through the high pressure moments. And then in the downtime, you can evaluate what could have been done better. Sometimes nothing, sometimes it's just the way of the world. And sometimes you can say, oh, we did it this way. Maybe we should try it another way the next time and make improvements as we go along. Ms.
Thank you.
Butler?
Okay. Miss Deirdre Butler, you have 60 seconds to answer the same question.
So my management style would probably be along the same lines. You've got to support your staff. You've got to make them feel that they are valued and the hard work that they do. That is a very high pressure job. Treat them with respect. Listen to their ideas. A lot of times, I think management can lose the opportunity of somebody who has been working this job and has a suggestion, and they just roll right over it without listening to that person. And it may be a very good suggestion and a better way to change things. A lot of it is respect and kindness. That is something that I think needs to be brought to that office. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. And now the final question, question number 4. Deirdre, you will have 90 seconds to respond first. Here's the question. What would be your top priorities during your first year in office?
So one of my top priorities is working with the public, working with other attorneys, working with, I would love to work with other counties to see what processes they use. The courts are mandated by statute, so there are things that you cannot change, but some of the things procedures, those things I would like to look into to make it better for our county, to bring things that would make it easier for the people that come up to the counter that need help, places that we can send them to. So my top priority is to work more with all of the other wheels of that, the courts, so that we can actually make a better place for our community and for our attorneys and the courts.
Thank you. Ms. Tony Adams, you have 60 seconds to respond to the same question.
Thank you. My priorities would be about the same. I would really like to expand, if possible, our e-filing system. I have been discussing with other paralegals in other counties, comparing and contrasting their experiences with our e-filing system compared to theirs. And I would like to get on the same level as some of the other counties and make that process easier for attorneys and their staff who are having to appear off island from other counties. Also, that may be helpful to all pro se candidates. And I would like to build a cohesive office. I've noticed that there is a lot of turnover, and I'd like to figure out why that is and build a good team in the office. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, we're going to move on to our 2-minute closing statements. Ms. Adams, you may go first.
Thank you. I really don't have much of a closing statement. I just would like to improve the processes in the office, expand the technology and the library online for those who are from out of county or maybe even out of state who practice in Island County and Washington State. So the more resources that they have, the public has, the other attorneys have, the better our office is, the better the process runs. And I think that is a good thing. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Butler, you have 2 minutes for a closing statement.
So my closing statement, I'm going to add a little bit about me. I came here 18 years ago. I have a husband. I've raised 2 boys on this island. This community means the world to me. And I would like the opportunity to make that office, even though it is not usually a place that most people go. I would like the opportunity to make that office kinder, more respectful. I want people to leave feeling that they have been helped as much as they possibly can. And I would like to have the opportunity to start working with all the different parts of the county to see if we can make this a better place for our community, both on Whidbey and on Camino. And I would really appreciate your vote. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thanks to all of the candidates tonight for your attendance and your patience with some of the glitches as we got started, and for showing up. That concludes our questions for the evening. Thank you all for attending. I also want to recognize Carla Grau-Egerton, the Forum Committee Chair, and my fellow committee members for their hard work, with special thanks to Carol Pulliam, Joanne Rooms, and Karen Bolstad for making our virtual forums a success. One final note. Ballots will be mailed on July 17th. If you haven't received a ballot by July 22nd, contact the auditor's office at 360-678-8290. To find a secure ballot drop box near you, go to elections@islandcountywashington.gov. WA.gov. This is the most reliable path for ballots to be sure that they are secure and counted. If you choose to mail your ballot, remember that it must be postmarked on or before Election Day, August 4th. Please vote and submit your ballot as soon as possible to avoid delays that might make your ballot invalid. If you or someone you know has not registered to vote, you can still register online until July 27th or in person at the auditor's office on Election Day. Thank you again and have a very good evening.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good night.